that.
Hey guys, welcome to the KickBack FC. Thank you for joining us once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Welcome back to the Kickback FC, your go-to spot for unfiltered real talk, all things soccer. Here we've got it all. We'll be breaking down the biggest moments, the hottest takes, and everything that you need to stay tapped into the world's game. We'll even tap into some other sports from time to time because if it's big in sports, we've got some thoughts on it. Whether this is your first time jumping in with the crew or you've been rocking with us from the jump, again, I just want to say thank you to all of our friends and supporters. Once again, my name's Cornelius. I'm joined by my boys and fellow co-hosts. Salam, how you feeling tonight?
Feel good, man. Happy Easter to everybody. It's been a great day. I can't complain. How about you, Gabriel?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Good. How are you?
Good, man. Happy Easter, as Salam said to everyone who celebrates out there. Had a good one. It's funny. It's spring, starting to get a little bit of sun outside. It's still been a little chilly here in Cleveland, but we've had some good days. But we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the Premier League season. Our European season. But there's a lot happening here in America. I know you had it on the. I don't see it on the list right now, but you had Denver in the NWSL. I do want to start there before we get into the MLS and our Ohio teams, but I do want to talk about Denver a little bit because they are the new expansion team in the NWSL this year, and they've broken records with attendances. It's been very cool to see Lindsay Heaps now come back. She's from Denver, so she's playing back in her hometown. Um, just as far as you two, Salam, I'll start with you. What do you think about this Denver team, and you know, as far as how they look and potentially going far in this NWSL season?
Shout out to the crowd in Denver. That was a big statement, record breaking attendance. This was a team that obviously won the race for the expansion team, and they showed why, um, or I should say, they showed that Denver obviously has a big soccer presence, and that was backed by the record breaking attendance. But as far as them on the field, I think they look great in all the games that they've been in. They've been pretty competitive, and that's without Lindsay Heaps. Obviously, she's going to be joining a little bit later, and I don't know if this is official yet, but they also just announced that Sam Kerr is also going to be joining them as well too. And that's
Yeah,
you talk about making statements. The record breaking attendance was one thing, but when you're backing it up by bringing in players like this, I think that that's huge, and it's huge for the game here in the United States. Sam Kerr has accomplished a lot, man. She's a big time striker, and that's the type of player that's going to raise the profile of the league as well too. So yeah, they got something brewing in Denver, man. And those are two big time players that are coming in, and that's a solid foundation.
Yeah, the fact that they're an expansion team and they're pretty doing pretty well in the league so far. Usually we see expansion teams that first year is usually a rough year for them. But so far it seems like they're not getting a whole bunch of wins. Like they have three draws, so they haven't like turned that corner in some ways still. But I mean, they're doing a lot better than a lot of other teams right now. So for being an expansion team, I think that's pretty that's something to definitely kind of just motivate you throughout the season and say like, hey, we can do this. I think for them, just making the playoffs would be a huge statement as well. Like if they're able to make the playoffs, I think that's be a huge booster for them. And I think for the squad because then they obviously it's attractive to play there now. They're bringing in players of quality, 63,000 people at a match.
It's a lot.
Bro, it's what more can you ask for? Honestly, you know. So yeah, man, it's some cool things happening up in Denver for sure.
yeah. You guys both talked about Lindsay Heaps coming over, Sam Kerr from Chelsea coming over, Kat Macario also from Chelsea will be leaving Chelsea at the end of the season and coming over to play in the NWSL as well. So a lot is happening in just the NWSL in general. And it's very good to see because, now we're starting to see, these players actually get to determine a little bit more of where they want to play. Now they go do their stint in Europe and then they say, hey, actually I do want to come back to my domestic league. And, it's cool seeing the US women's national team players, have that connection now with Europe, with the current, U.S. women's national team being, the former Chelsea manager. So good things are happening between the NWSL, Europe, just women's football in general. So it's been good to see. And shout out MIA.
I was gonna say too, man. I think that really speaks to the NWSL as well too. Like I think people recognize it as like a pretty competitive league, and I think to your point, Sam Kerr coming here, Kat Macario coming here now, and with all the players that they already have, that are still contributing on the U.S. women's national team, I think is huge. I mean, even Trinity Rodman staying, I mean, that shows like a big, statement again of like this is a pretty competitive league, and I'm not saying it's the best league in the world in terms of being competitive, but we got some ballers here in the NWSL.
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
I agree.
No, good talk, man. So keeping it in the US right now, I want to get back to the MLS over here with a tongue twister. Pause. But MLS, man, Ohio teams. It was a tale of two cities for real this week in the MLS, regarding the Columbus Crew and the FC Cincinnati. I do want to start with you, Salam, since you are here. Cincinnati with a tough loss, 4-2. Like we talked about this, in the beginning of the year. You guys are going to have some issues with Evander being out. He had those few games missed in the beginning of the season, but you've been leaking goals, and Roman Celentano played well in those first few weeks to keep, a lot of those goals out. But, it's become an issue now. What is is there a quick fix? What's going on in Sissy right now?
I mean, I think you said perfectly. I think it's our defensive struggles. This is definitely not the first game in a row where we've conceded more than 4 goals. And it's tough because, obviously, and I don't want to blame it on like one person, but the players that we need to play well on that back line need to start playing well. They're a big part of what we do defensively. And when you see every game, like that to me seems to be like the glaring issue. It's not just one person. And I do want to shout out, Evan Loro, the guy who came in, our backup keeper who came in while Celentano was out with the national team. I thought that he played well. But, I mean, before I even get into Cincy, bro, I just wanted to say you got to give credit to this Red Bulls team. Julian Hall is the real deal. Man. They're really good. Man, they're a fun team to watch. This was the first game that I got to watch from start to finish from them, man. I was really impressed with what I saw, man. This Julian Hall kid is for real. It's not just like some flash in the pan. He constantly is finding himself in opportunities to score, and I think definitely could be a star emerging there. But I liked what I saw from him. I mean, Emil Forsberg shows that he's still world class. He showed that you don't foul a player of his caliber like that right outside the box, and you give him an opportunity. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw his free kick, but his free kick was
beautiful,
bar down. Like it,
beautiful.
What do you do about that? But
can't do anything about it.
But even then, it was like I thought like we showed a little bit of resilience by getting the goal back to make it 1-1. I thought that was a good goal. And then, I don't know, man, we just seem to be like gifting goals. And, one thing that I know for sure is we can't keep relying on these Nick Haglund like throws from these long throws. Like it's, we got away with one versus Montreal, but like, I don't know, man. I know I brought up defensively, like obviously we have some issues, but offensively too, bro, we just haven't clicked as a team. I don't know what it is. It's not really just one end of the field. But my last thing that I'll say about Cincy, and this is what we were talking about before we started recording, but I definitely don't see us as one of the top 3 teams as I predicted to start the season. I still think there's a chance for us to be competitive in the playoffs, like because I think if you take Inter Miami and Nashville out, and I guess I'd put Charlotte up there of the top 3.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I feel like we're kind of right there. If you were to tell me us versus the Revolution right now, I would take us. Like I was telling you, Cornelius, in the playoffs, if I think that like if it's us versus New York Red Bulls or Columbus Crew, I like our chances. But I definitely don't think that we're going to be like, fighting for the supporter shield. But I think, making the playoffs and I guess just finding a good matchup is where we're at right now. We're not in CONCACAF Champions League. Obviously, the Leagues Cup hasn't started yet, but it's a long season. But I'll be honest with you, man. To start the season, like this has not been what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, man, you guys are just leaking goals. It's bad. Like a lot of goals, bro. I feel like this was not the case last year.
Yeah, Miazga, look at the first goal. Like you're just sleeping. You're just like I don't know, man. And it's like, bro, you getting paid big time, bro. You're one of the you're our captain. I don't know, man. Like, again, I don't want to blame him, but it's like, it's a tough watch, man. It's a tough watch.
Yeah.
But Columbus got their dub. If Mike was there,
they bounced back.
Mike would tell you.
On the flip side, I don't know if you were able to catch any of the Columbus game. I was kind of flipping in between both of you because y'all both played at 7:30. And to be honest, the first half was a little boring on the Columbus side, but second half, it got to going. And this was a big win for Columbus just because this was their first win of the season. They needed to get all 3 points. They're still out of playoff contention right now, but brace from Abu Ali. I believe this is where they need him to be at. This is, Atlanta, again, another one of the teams in the East that isn't so strong through the first 5-6 weeks. I believe now Columbus is sitting like 1 point higher than Atlanta on the table, but first goal from Abu Ali, strong header in the box. That's a real strong striker to go win it against your defender. That's a 50-50 strong header in the bottom corner. That's what you want to see from your striker. This is the guy who you paid to go and get you guys goals. Last year, obviously, he had the injury, but this year you really feel like he needs to get going if Columbus has any hopes of being a team that's formidable. Because just like y'all, I feel like as long as y'all make it in the playoffs, y'all scary, and I feel like the same thing with Columbus. Even though it's a new manager, new regime, there's still that pedigree that Columbus has when they're in the postseason. So for them, I feel like if they can get Abu Ali going, that frees up a lot more of the field for Rossi, and Rossi does his best when he has more of the pitch open. But if it's just Rossi that has to be the guy this year, they're going to be able to put 2 on him, and I feel like he's not going to be able to be his best self. But big bounce back win from Columbus. I feel like they really needed this win to just have that confidence going into the rest of the season. It's still early, so you want to see a win. You want to see 3 points as early as possible. It took them a little bit to get going this year, but hopefully that could be the momentum, to get them on a little run, early this season. So I don't know how you felt about it, Gabriel or Salah.
Yeah,
Great win. I mean, I think. Sorry, I just think. Well, obviously they need to get a win, but then also to do it away from home is also big for a confidence boost too. So, yeah, I just think that. These are the levels that you have to be at to win games. And I feel like this is the first time we've really seen them do that. So happy for them. But they have a long season, long way to go. So does Cincinnati, I still think too. They need to get offensively clicking. And this is like the first game that they looked with like some cohesiveness. At least in the second half, like you said, the first half was pretty boring. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they look like for the rest of the season. But they still have, like I said, a long way to go.
Yeah, I feel like yesterday had to have been nothing but a win for them, especially against a team like Atlanta. That's again another team where it's just like it's hard to just really make an assumption on a team, with only like 5 to 6 games in, but Atlanta seems to be like one of the teams that's going to struggle. So I think for the Crew going into this game, you had to win. You got to be able to get the 3 points in situations like this. So and Abu Ali, bro, like, hey, they showed why they spent the money on this guy. That second goal was crazy. That was a really nice goal. And yeah, they're gonna need him going. Like you said, Cornelius, for Rossi to really do his thing. But hey, man, that the East, bro, it just seemed like from 4 to probably 10, it's just kind of wide open there. So
Yeah. No, that's for sure, man. With this international break, we didn't have any Premier League games, but we did come back to the FA Cup. Some of our teams were still in it here on this podcast, and some of our teams are still in it on this podcast. Others aren't, but definitely want to go over those FA Cup matches. Because we are getting to the nitty gritty of the season, as I said. So we'll start with a Man City versus Liverpool match. Man City, big 4-0 win over Liverpool. It was a
4-1.
big. You said what?
I thought it was 4-1, no?
Was it 4-1?
it was 4-0.
Oh,
You're giving them
4-0.
too much
Yeah,
credit.
no. Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they scored. Yeah, 4-0 win over Liverpool. I mean, I don't think we were on last week, so we weren't able to say it on the pod, or at least I wasn't. But Salah has announced that he will be leaving Liverpool at the end of this season. So big news surrounding Liverpool. They haven't had the best season this year, coming off of their Premier League winning season last year. But this pretty much, ends their domestic hopes for any silverware this year. They are still in the Champions League, but right here with this, City City trying to win another one, I guess. 4-0. Just took care of business. Anything y'all got to say about this game?
Alan hat-trick. He's back. City being City, man. I mean, listen, bro. The win in the Carabao Cup is giving this team confidence, clearly. So, City is back.
Yeah, for me, I think this game really told me more about Liverpool than it did Man City. And there wasn't really like much that I didn't know before. I think it was just kind of confirming what I had thought, and that was that this Liverpool team is just not the same team as they were last year. They look very vulnerable. They look very touchable. This is not a team that I'm really fearing anymore. And why? I don't know. I mean, it's a unique situation. I mean, for them last year, Klopp to leave, or Arne Slot to come in his first season, no transfers in, and then for you to just like convincingly win the league as you did last year. And then for you to follow it up this summer to splash the cash and you bring in all these guys, and then I don't know. Now it just looks like I don't know what it looks like, to be very honest with you. But yeah, man, in regards to Mohamed Salah, I mean, it's crazy, man. This is one of the best players the Premier League has ever seen. A lot of Liverpool fans may not like to hear this, and I know people always have. The Liverpool fans always remind me that Americans don't know much about football, but I will say this here: Mohamed Salah is Liverpool's greatest player ever. And I know they always say Steven Gerrard. I get it. The boyhood club and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, but Steven Gerrard hasn't given you what Mohamed Salah has given you. And that's just, it is what it is. 2 Premier League titles. You know what I'm saying? 2 Premier League titles. Golden Boot winner. Champions League winner. FA Cup winner. I mean, what?
Is the Carabao in there, right?
Yeah, they beat us. I
don't know if Steven Gerrard has like a Carling Cup.
League cups and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was called.
I mean,
then,
I agree, Salah.
And it's not recency
much as-
bias, bro. It's like, I'm sorry, man, but like this is their better.
in 8 years.
Yeah, bro. This is and like this, you talk about longevity as well too. You know what I'm saying? Gerrard slip. You know what I'm saying? In his last few years at Liverpool, my man just won a Golden Boot. You know what I'm saying? At his big age. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not
At
sit
his
here.
big age.
Yeah, let's not. No, I'm being serious though. Like let's not
I
act like
know.
for a second like that. The comparison is even close. I'm sorry. I understand he's from the area, so like yeah, you have to back your guy, but like no, bro. It's it is what it is, but yeah.
I think that's
I mean,
valid
I
though,
told y'all
man.
last year, physically he was gone. He was just scoring a bunch of goals. I think now, obviously, it's being more kind of
Just
shown
caught up with it.
to the light. But no, I mean, it is what it is, man. And that's just, he's a guy who relies on like his physicality and his pace. And, in the Premier League, you can't drop your shoulder and pass someone anymore. It's tough for you to go up against these Lewis Halls, these tough guys, these young guys that are, who's the Man City Nico O'Reilly? Imagine try to drop your shoulder and try to run past Nico O'Reilly, man. But nah, shout out to Mohamed Salah, man. One of my favorite ops. I'm finally happy to see you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Salam. I think everything he said I think he got everything. I agree with him being Liverpool's best player ever. And it's valid. They could be mad, but proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding. No bias. The proof is truly in the pudding. So, yeah, I think. I also think, kind of been saying it, but I think yesterday, or not yesterday, but that loss really confirmed. I think Virgil's time has come. I think Virgil's time has come. Go ahead, drop a bell, man. Just go ahead, drop a bell on time, man. Because, man, oh man, oh man, the good old brother Virgil van Dijk, man. He's cooked. He's truly cooked.
Yeah, we need all of that.
He's cooked. He's cooked. Yeah, man. He's done. I don't think he'll be able to. I think the Virgil van Dijk as we know it is gone, as we used to know it. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying but he's just. I don't know if he's that elite defender anymore. I think Liverpool has a lot of issues in the back. I think Konate is kind of halfway out the door anyway. He's almost left. What was it, during the January transfer window or last summer? Talking about going to Barcelona. Virgil's older. He's about to be done. And I don't think Kirkhead and Frimpong are the answers.
He hates
personally. I don't know if Kirkhead is, I don't know if he's in Frimpong. I mean, Frimpong is used to playing like wing back, so this role, I mean, it's not the worst, but I don't know. It just hasn't clicked yet. So I don't know. We'll see. But City is back. I'll say that. City is back.
Yeah, he looking real Joel Matip-ish. Remember Joel Matip? Remember Virgil was Virgil and Joel Matip was like the big vet. Virgil needs a Virgil. He needs a Virgil himself. Hey man, shout out to Matip.
Matip. Crazy.
That's crazy. Wow, Joel Matip. But yeah, man, other matches in the FA Cup quarterfinals. I don't really want to talk too much on the Chelsea match. I do want to talk about, Enzo Fernández and him being dropped from Chelsea's next two matches and him potentially losing the captaincy. Because here, this is how I feel about it. What he said needed to be said. Maybe he wasn't the best messenger for sure, but what he said needed to be said, because I don't think really what he said was too out of line with how a lot of how Chelsea fans, staff, players feel. I think where he was out of line was when he started talking about Madrid. You got to know when these journalists over there in England start asking you about potential moves, that's when you got to be strategic about how you answer. There, you should have been a little bit, and it's a language barrier. I know all that too, but you got to be smarter about how you answer those questions. But as far as what he said on, Chelsea's management and how they let Maresca go kind of at the drop of a hat, and how, we kind of just had to deal with it. And the players felt a certain way. You never really heard exactly how they felt until now that this story has come out. And other players have said similar things, but I think at a time where we are in the season where we needed a big win, albeit that it was against Port Vale, we bounced back with a big win. And I think that actually has given me a little bit of, I don't want to say hope, but it's shown me that all isn't lost. You feel me? Because for a time in the past couple of weeks, it hadn't looked great for Chelsea. And I think that we needed this international break. I think that we needed to come back and have, a little bit of easier competition, kind of just to get our head right. This was the biggest GRG that we could have possibly had. Clearly, we weren't going to lose this match, but I think just such a big dominating 7-0 win is big for our confidence. Cole Palmer with the armband, it was good to see him with that. But, at the end of the day, we have matches left in the Premier League. We have matches left in this FA Cup. We're now in a semifinal where we have another favorable matchup against Leeds. So for me, it's like, let's go try to win something. This season doesn't have to be all at loss. We could still get top 4. We have to win out. Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest job in the world, but there are still things that we could do to salvage this season. Although what I have said and what I will continue saying is that sacking Maresca when all wasn't at loss was the worst decision this ownership group could have made. And I'm glad Enzo said something about it. But at the end of the day, we're a team. I know that stuff doesn't help when it comes out mid-season, right before the end of the year. And honestly, you never know when that stuff's going to come out. But like I said, you got to be smart as a player. You got to understand how the media works, how journalism works. They're always looking to get you in a gotcha moment, especially when things seem to be, topsy-turvy or, looking sideways. So that's the only beef I truly have about it. I know other Chelsea fans may feel a different type of way, but for me, you got to say what needs to be said sometimes. And I know people aren't happy with it, but I'm not mad at it. I'm really not. So that's how I feel about the Enzo Fernández situation with Chelsea. I'm glad that we were able to get a big GRG. We're going into a week where we have a must-win match. So for me, let's just continue this this momentum that we have, because there's always going to be a story about Chelsea, man. There's always going to be something that comes up with us. That's just because the nature of who we've been since, the Roman, even during the Roman Abramovich days. You knew you were on the hot seat, but now I feel like it's just a little bit more, it's just the heat's turned up a little bit more. So good win. Look forward to this upcoming weekend where we're back in the Premier League.
7-0. Needed the goals, man. Obviously, needed to prove that you can still put up goals at a high number, high clip. Good dub. I don't think Enzo was wrong either, too. I just want to say that some things need to be said, and I think the captain is the right person to say those things personally. But yeah, man, whoever's doing your PR needs to be better, bro. Or whoever your PR person is. Like, I never understood about talking about another team while you're on a team. Like, it's just never it's never gonna end up well or good, So I don't know, but yeah, man, good dub.
And then the other quarterfinal matches, we had Southampton versus Arsenal. I'm gonna just give the floor to you because everybody on social media is now saying last 2 matches you've bottled, and so obviously you're still in the Champions League. Obviously you're still in first place in the Premier League, looking very good, in both competitions. But at the end of the day, this was another chance for you to go get trophy, like you said. You said multiple times you want a big one and you want a little one. That would be, what you would say gave you a good season this year, a big one and a little one. Both of the little ones gone. So now you're looking at 2 big ones. Pause. But so far, how do you feel about the season and this Southampton match? Kind of break down what you think happened.
I mean, Southampton, bro. My goodness, man. I watched the game at Spike Lee's bar. One, first and foremost, saw Spike. Shout out to Spike Lee. But man, I'm like kind of speechless about it, if I'm being so honest. This is what a Declan Rice-less and Saka-less Arsenal looks like, truly. And it shows. It's sad to. I mean, like I said, I can go to the individual performances and talk this player and that player, but bro, there's no lineup that we put out unless it's straight Utes that should be losing to Southampton. There's way too much money on the field. The second thing is, bro, I'm so serious. I never want to see Kepa in an Arsenal shirt again, bro. Please, for the life of me. I'm just being so honest. I never want to see him play another game for our team.
Come to
And
that
third,
part of the Kepa saga.
and third, it's everyone on that pitch should take a serious look in the mirror, bro. I think there needs to be another team meeting before we go start this weekend in the Premier League because, bro, there's no reason that a 16-year-old kid is our best player on the pitch. I don't know if this could be maybe his first Arsenal start. I'm not even sure. But very early in his career, bro, it looked like no one else wanted it as bad as him. And that's an issue for me, bro. That's an issue for me. I don't understand what we don't understand about we need to win trophies. And these are quote unquote the easier competitions. These are quote unquote, the competitions where, yeah, you can see a Port Vale and a Leeds and find yourself in a final. You can finesse your way to a final. You know what I mean? So the fact that, we just completely just blew it. Yeah, man, it's sad. And I think this is the worst part about this is, whatever it's the FA Cup, obviously we didn't get to where we need to go, but this is a huge confidence blow now. Because now, the Carabao Cup, you lose that, it is what it is. You go win the FA Cup match, you're in the semifinal, you try to get back. But now that you're out of two competitions, now this is when all the people start asking questions and start thinking too much. And this is when, the rumblings start. And I was telling Yasser about this. What was it? Yesterday. I was like, bro, this race is fully back on. I'm gonna say that right now. Fully back on. Because City, like I said, City is back. 100%. That Carabao Cup win gave them new life. They have potential, these looming charges. They're just trying to play through it, bro. So City is fully back. 4-0 against Liverpool, fully back, bro. A loss to City, and now a senseless FA Cup loss. Everyone's looking like, bro, they're touchable. They lost to Southampton. They're not even in the Prem. What are we doing? So, bro, I pray that we can get a result against Sporting. But bro, we have to get it together, man. I don't know what it's gonna take for this team to get over the hump. But now we're literally in the two hardest competitions. We're making it hard on ourselves. We do it every year to ourselves. Why we make it the easier competitions that we can handle and should be taken care of? We don't, and yet now we're in the two hardest competitions, and that's what we have to now fight for. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's truly sad, and we don't have like a easy Premier League schedule, for the end of the season. Like we have some tricky matchups. We have to go to City, another game where that's a final. All honesty, that is a true final. If we don't win that, like I already said, the race is fully back on. I'm saying that right now. But if we lose that City game with just how things are going right now, yeah, bro, I don't know how the season ends up. On the flip end, I think if we get 12 points, if we get even on games and we're 12 points clear, I think we're easy. I think we're money, personally. But yeah, man, it's very sad. The showing I saw was actually like embarrassing. And shout out to Southampton, man. They played well, honestly. They were up for the game. Their stadium was loud, bro. It was extremely loud in there. Their fans came up. They're definitely the 12th man. And yeah, they caught us lacking. So this is what, like I said, this is what a Declan Rice-less and Saka-less Arsenal looks like. Yasser and I definitely agreed on that. Like I said, it's sad to see that a 6-year-old I felt like wanted it more than everyone else. And then on the worst part about it is Gabriel is not injured. Don't know what's wrong with him. It was a good sign that he wasn't in the locker room like after he came off. He stayed on the bench, so that's I hope is a better sign. But he has maybe a knee hamstring. I'm not even sure. So that's another blow for us as well. And the most pivotal time of our season. Like I said, bro, this last month is a race. Literally, it's a race. It's a sprint, bro. It's Mad Max. So yeah, man. It's not looking great right now, to say the least. It's not looking great. But we have
But
like I said, that we have a chance to bounce back against Sporting, which we should.
so, there was the whole noise around all of the players leaving the England camp to come back. Obviously there were some extra eyes on the Arsenal players specifically. But, what have you heard about these injuries to Declan Rice, Saka? Obviously, they're knocks. That's what you're hearing around the rumor mill. But is this something that you think will keep them out for extended
No,
weeks?
I truly think that they didn't play in this game because Arteta didn't
You're
think he
supposed
need
to take
them.
care of business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we're supposed to take care of business this game. We rotated pretty much the entire squad but Gabriel. Martinelli started, but Kai Havertz Ødegaard got 60 minutes. He wasn't gonna play a full 90. Kai Havertz, he played in the 10, which it's never worked, bro. Almost has never worked for us. So yeah, I mean, we rotated pretty much most of the squad, and I think he wants to keep them on ice until we really need them, which is this week when we're in the Champions League and on the weekend when we have a league match and we're trying to win a trophy. We're trying to win, a league title. So I don't think we need them. But it is concerning. It's concerning. But bro, I think all these guys are fine for the most part. Like Eze, he's actually injured. We're not seeing Eze for, like I said, maybe a couple more weeks. Like he actually has a true injury. But Saka, Rice, USMNT, bro, Nani was in a brace. Guy played on Saturday. Like these guys most of them are probably fine. If I'm assuming truly, like outside of, I don't know if Gabriel's injured now with what he came off with on Saturday. Obviously Eze's injured, but the rest of the guys, I truly don't feel like their injuries are serious, or I feel like I'd be hearing about them and they'd be all over my feed for real. Like all the Arsenal guys would be, hey, this guy's out, this guy's out. So I think these guys know what's on the line for our team and for their club. These friendlies aren't important. We've already seen someone really big just got injured over the international friendly.
Yeah, meaningless.
Meaningless games, but someone, I forgot who, someone like a big name player just got injured though. And it's like, it's just unneeded, and I understand why these guys are like, bro, we have the World Cup in the summer and we have to try to win the title. So no, I think to answer your question, I think the guys for the most part are fine, but this is just embarrassing, man. It's truly embarrassing. And now, beforehand, if you win this game, we're all good. We go to the semifinals. We don't know who our matchup is. If our matchup is a City or a Chelsea, we get caught slacking, it's different, much different than losing to a Southampton. Now the world is talking. Now you every time you go on Twitter, you see bottles, you see this, you see that. Now this is when everything starts to creep in. So I just hope that we have enough resilience to just push past it. But like I said, bro, it's not looking bright right now. It's not looking bright.
So my second question, I know you didn't really want to single out individual players, but Ødegaard, that's a player that you said got 60 minutes. What do you think of his performance? Because, we've not really talked too much about individual players on this pod, but when it comes to Ødegaard, you think that he should still have that leadership quality to take over in moments like this. But then you look at, the chance he had in the box in like the 20th minute where, he kind of shoots it and it hits his right foot, goes wide. Kind of look at him not really taking over in the match as you think he should. What do you think about his performance? And as far as Ødegaard, where is he in the pecking order, as you look in these crunch time going postseason, not postseason, but as we go deep into the Champions League, as we go deep into the Premier League season?
I mean, he's still, I think for the most part, he's still gonna start. Like, I thought honestly, yes, you have to score that one. You have to put it on frame. You have to score. That's so bad. But honestly, I thought he played well. Like his performance was fine. Outside of that blunder, like I thought he played pretty well. And we're missing a player that can it seemed like he was the only player sometimes that would hold possession. Like we were all over the place. We couldn't connect 4 or 5 passes. Guys misplacing passes or just trying to advance the ball too quick and not settling on the ball and just, working, just working the channels and dominating a game. Like it was very back and forth. And I felt like, he was the one guy to kind of at times just keep us calm. But like I said, no one played well. No one played well. And, I think, like I said, I think Ødegaard will continue to start, especially since we have guys out injured and Eze's out injured. I think he'll have to start. I don't want to see Kai Havertz, and like I said, in a 10 role again. We tried it for half a season when we first got him, and it never worked. We moved him to the 9, and guys started banging in goals. Like, I don't see the need to force it. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Bring me Saka back, bro. And like Mad Max played great. Like he was, like I said, he was our best player by far. Our best player by far. But like I said, man, I don't want to see Kepa in another Arsenal jersey again. We shouldn't. Truly, we shouldn't. We're not even in FA Cup or Carabao Cup anymore. It's just Champions League and the league games. I don't want to see that guy again. Don't even show him on the screen. Don't even show him warming up. I don't want to see him, bro. Please, he needs to go. He needs to go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about the Gabriel point. I mean that's a big. I don't know how long he's hurt for, but if he's gonna be out, I think that's a big miss because I think he should be. I don't know how he's not getting Player of the Season shouts. People keep talking about Declan Rice, and I'm like, to me, I think Declan Rice is a big part of your guys' team. I don't think he's been as influential as Gabriel has. Even just with the goals he's pitching in. Forget him as a defender and the fact that you guys don't concede goals and the fact that you guys lead the league in clean sheets. The way he does defensively is great, but like, shit, bro. You remember that year when Sergio Ramos was just scoring all these goals? That's like, yo, what center back is giving you that, bro? That's a Player of the Season should definitely be Gabriel, in my opinion. But Declan Rice, his face fits. So
man, I just I don't know, man. I agree with you. I think Gabriel's clearly one of our best players, and one of the best players I believe in the world currently. One of the best defenders in the world. And man, do I pray that he's not out long term? Because like I said, bro, we're still a deep team, but he's literally our I feel like he's our heart and soul at times. Like he truly is. I mean, he's another captain for sure, even though he's not wearing the armband, but he's like our vocal leader by far. We have a lot of silent leaders. Like, I don't feel like Saka's not a big talker. Ødegaard's not a big talker. But I don't even feel like, Saliba or Gabriel Jesus is either. He's part of our, he's part of like our leadership group. But Declan Rice and, Gabriel are huge vocal leaders on our team. And, bro, it's going to be a long month if we don't have Gabriel, for the season. So, yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, then the last FA Cup match was West Ham versus Leeds. 2-2. Actually very interesting and fun match to watch. Leeds was up 2-0 going into injury time. There were 11 minutes of injury time, and West Ham was able to use all of those 11 minutes to score 2, get 2 back. Game ended up going into penalties, and then Leeds won 4-2 there. But, I don't know. I feel like this tournament has had a lot of surprises, a lot of fun games to watch. I mean, we're seeing 4-2 or 2-2 matches here. We're seeing 7-0s. I know it's Port Vale. But one thing I will say about the FA Cup in recent years is that we have seen a lot of these lower tier teams make it kind of far in the tournament. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago where Salam, you guys played Coventry, or is that true? Or
Mhm.
and that was, I think, the quarterfinals or the semifinals where
Yeah.
you guys got playing a championship team. This year we see Port Vale make it all the way to the quarterfinals. Southampton, championship team, making it to the semifinals. So I don't know. People always talk about the FA Cup, and there's always banter about it. But I do like the fact that you can see these teams go on a little run. You could see these little teams going to Cinderella. I didn't know who Port Vale was until, I'd heard of them, didn't know what division they were in, and you get to see them actually go on a run. So it's good for the teams because they actually do get money based on how far they go in these tournaments. So, for us, quarterfinals match against Port Vale might just be okay. Let's get to the next round. But for Port Vale, this is potentially this could change our season. This could change our next season.
Yeah.
This could totally change who we look to buy in the market this summer. And on these teams who are on the cusp of maybe jumping from the third to the fourth division, or the fourth to the third division, or from that third division to Champions League. I mean, look at what Wrexham has been able to do with funding, and Wrexham now we've seen come late into this tournament as well. So I just feel like it's just been good to see some of these smaller teams actually like fight their way to some notoriety in this FA Cup these last few years.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, it's not even just like the teams. Like, obviously, yeah, like, when you get Chelsea on your schedule, Arsenal on your schedule, it's like, you have this game circled, for a while. But even for the players as well too, it's a good opportunity to showcase yourself in front of a top
Facts.
team. And there's a lot of guys who have been, what I'm saying, who have played against one team. I'm not saying in the FA Cup necessarily, but just there's been a lot of teams before where, hey, like, we played against them, and then they were like, yo, we got to sign this guy. Or you heard about him because he had a good game versus XYZ. That's how we signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Played him in a Champions League game. He balled out against us. And then it
Mhm.
was like all the players were like, yo, we got to sign this guy. But yeah, I mean, it's, the soccer version of like March Madness. Is anybody can win. And not just FA Cup, obviously, Copa del Rey, the Dos Capoto, whatever, however you
Yeah, the
pronounce it. I'm
local
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, you know. Uh, but yeah,
No, it's just been good to see. At least in the last few years, I've recognized a lot of these, you know, not top seeded teams or top league teams make it, kind of deep into this FA Cup. So it's been good to see. But I do want to talk about Champions League before we get out of here, man. We are in the quarterfinal stage of the Champions League. Want to just go in chronological order, talk about our two games here on Tuesday. First, we have Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich.
Banger,
I'm not gonna hold
banger.
you. This is tough to see these two teams in the quarterfinals because for me, I feel like whoever comes out of here is probably going to win the Champions League. Man, if you look at this Bayern team, they're kind of set up to win it this year, man. I'm not gonna hold you. But again, it's Madrid. In two legs, you don't know what's going to happen. So it's just one of those matchups where it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be fun to watch both legs. But I don't know, man. I'm going to have to lean Bayern. I just think right now Kane is he's on his Ballon d'Or tour right now, leading into the World Cup. I feel like he's just been the best player. Obviously, it's Bayern, so people are going to give him the benefit of the doubt in the league. But I mean, if you look at what they've been doing in Champions League, him and Luis Diaz, that front three is just nuts. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tough, but I'm leading Bayern.
yeah. I think to your point, bro. I think it goes under the radar of what they've really done this year, just because you kind of expect them to do it, just because they play in the Bundesliga. But they're putting up numbers, bro, and the only reason why I would give even a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to Real Madrid is because this is their competition. Even if things don't look good on paper, they always seem to find a way. But this Bayern team to me is the best one, probably the best team in the world. Like you said, Cornelius, I think out of one of these two teams, this is who I predict will be in the final for sure. On the other side, I see Arsenal potentially getting there, or Barcelona potentially, if Barcelona's on the other side. But Bayern to me has been consistently the best team in the world from start to where we are right now, and they have the numbers to prove it. I mean, defensively they're sound as well too. I think just Real Madrid, they're in a weird. I don't know, man. I was talking to one guy today, and I'm like, they do just. I don't know, like the Jude's like in and out of the lineup. Vinny, I don't know, man. They just kind of just seem to be like just. It's the same story every year. It's kind of like they're not really at their best, but hey, do they need to be at their best to beat Man City? No, but I don't know. First leg, I'm going Bayern Munich.
I think the only way Madrid wins is if they have like a 2 to 3 goal lead on them, which I don't know if that happens. It has to, yeah. I don't even know if 2 goals is enough. This Bayern team scores too much, man. And sorry, bro. Elise and Kane are just, bro. It's a madness. Yeah, I got Bayern. Unless Madrid can really do something at home. But because I think if Madrid can do something at home, I truly think they can go to Munich and like hold Bayern to a goal or two, and I think they'll score as well. Like they're good for at least 1 goal in their favor. So yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, I'm leaning Bayern.
Bro, they were down 2-0 versus Freiburg this past weekend, and they came back and won 3-2. And they didn't even start like the starters. Obviously, the starters came on in the second half with like 30 minutes or whatever to go, but like that's a big win, confidence booster, like going into this week. Not they needed that to, like, obviously they're fine in the league, but yeah, man, Real Madrid lost this past week at the death, so you know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like Gabriel said, the first game is at Estadio Bernabeu, so we'll be in Madrid. They do get the benefit of having that first game at home, so let's see what they can do at home. You never know. Again, it is Madrid. Fede might go off for another hat trick. Our second game on Tuesday is Sporting versus Arsenal. It will be held in Portugal. Gabriel, I'm gonna just give the floor to you, dog. What you got?
GRG, truly. I think I'm not gonna lie, bro. This match, there should be no reason Gyökeres doesn't go off. These are against your fellow Mendem, bro. You used to score 50 goals over here. I need you to go ahead and handle this for us. You should personally handle this for us. You don't have to celebrate when you score. No, you took them to a couple titles or whatever, but I need you to go and ball out. So I truly expect a GRG. And honestly, man, this Gyökeres guy is getting a little bit better. Provided our only goal on Saturday, provided some link-up play. It's fine. It seems like he's somewhat finding his footing. Still not great, but he's finding his footing. And he's scoring goals. And obviously we didn't win on Saturday, but still he was able to get us a goal. So yeah, no, I think at GRG, I think we should be able to handle this Sporting team away from home. And yeah, Gabriel or no Gabriel, we should. I fully think we'll take care of business. I don't think we're not losing a man then like Trincao, bro. Nah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to Victor Gyökeres though, man. He had that one picture. He willed Sweden to
I was just gonna
victory.
say, yeah. Shout out to him, just what he was able to do over the international break.
And I know y'all saw that picture of him, and he had like the whole stadium behind him. Like that was dope.
Yeah, man. And then we have 2 more games on Wednesday in the Champions League. We got Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. Barca, just took care of business against them regularly in the league. I feel like this Barcelona team is on another mission, just quietly though this year. I feel like there was a lot more buzz around this Barca team last year, but quietly they're just taking care of business. This is a familiar matchup, obviously, but who do y'all got?
Yeah, I got Barca, man. Yeah, I got Barca. They beat them pretty, I would say. I mean, when I say convincingly, I mean I know like the deficit was only like 1 goal, but I just I don't see Atletico Madrid overcoming Barcelona. Not over 2 legs, man. They have
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal, man. I know we talked about Harry Kane and like on his Ballon d'Or campaign, but Lamine Yamal, bro, like he's like it's not. He is
And
like probably the best player in the world. If we're gonna like Harry Kane has like the numbers to back it, but like I'm not looking at Harry Kane and being like, damn, bro, you're the best player in the world. This guy, I'm like, yo, you are, yeah, you have that same. It's not quite messy, but it's like, damn, bro, you're different from all these other kids. There's one video I gotta send it to you guys. There was one video where like it was like one of those messy moments where there was like 4 or 5 different guys on him, and he's just going past everybody. And I'm like, damn, this is. I see why Spain is favored in the World Cup this summer, but nah, man. Simeone, I love you, brother. I really do. But your Champions League story with Atletico Madrid ends here. It's been a
I
fun.
think there's just too much going on with them. Too many stories. Griezmann leaving, Simeone retired, leaving. It's just too much. It's too much. And Barca's just too good right now, man. I got Barca.
Yeah, here you are there. And then last game in the Champions League quarterfinals will be PSG versus Liverpool. As I said earlier, Liverpool's still in the Champions League, and PSG, I don't know, man. They look like they want to go back to back. Look like they trying to go back to back. Who y'all got?
Yeah, PSG, man. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, man.
Ass, bro.
Yeah, it's about to be. I think it's about to be long, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, man. I just can't. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why, bro, but I just can't get behind this Kirkhead fella in the Liverpool shirt, man. Like I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, he look out of place.
Yeah, but I just feel like he's definitely in his dream job. I don't know if he ever imagined he'd be playing for Liverpool.
He's pinching himself every day.
Quick too.
Yeah, like bro. But yeah, man, I think PSG will handle Liverpool.
Yeah, I do you guys know where the first game is at?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I think it's
the
at
first
Liverpool.
game is in France.
I was in
It's in France.
In Paris,
Yeah, they're definitely cooked. See, this isn't a matchup where you want PSG to be at home first, because I really feel like they may run it up at home.
Yeah,
like they have the opportunity to run it up at home, and bro, PSG is, bro. I don't know if y'all watch PSG, but this team is like,
yeah,
bro, they are like unpressable. Like they are extremely good. They can go and dominate a game and go control a game. They can go to Liverpool and dominate possession and, get chances. Like this isn't the Liverpool that we once knew. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got PSG 100%.
Yeah, like you said, Gabriel. If they need to control the game against you, they can. If you want to get into a foot race, we can also engage in that.
Bro, yeah, like
we have Barcola.
No, listen, man, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, like, bro, it's actually no, bro. This team is unpressable. Like Vitinha in the middle, bro, they're too good, man. They're too good.
Yeah, João Neves, like they're no, I mean like that's they one of the best teams in the world, arguably. Well, not arguably, the best player in the world last season is on that team too. So they like you said, man, too, bro. Like they got different ways on how they can beat you as well, too. Like if you watch their games, it's not like I don't know, bro. Like Dembele is getting his, obviously, but so is Barcola, so is Doué, so is Kvaratskhelia. Like everyone's hitting their incentives, bro. Like
Bro.
it's not like one person is just racking up all the numbers, but hey, Liverpool, yeah, you'll never walk alone unless you're in Paris.
Yeah, I had to see 2 legs of BTA when it came to PSG. So
Yeah,
they got their look back. They definitely got their look back. But yeah, man, Champions League is going to be fun this week. It's always fun when you get down to the quarterfinals, even the rounds of 16. Like I said earlier, I feel like this new format has been good for matches. We're able to see a lot of fun matches during the actual, you know, season, and then in those knockout rounds, I feel like one side of the bracket is definitely stronger, but these matchups have been fun to watch still. So yeah, man. Um, Good episode, boys. We got
I wanted to ask you guys real quick. So this is the last international break, obviously before the World Cup. Real quick on the USA, we had our friendlies, and to be honest with you, when the schedule came out, I knew it was going to be difficult, just based off of the opponents that we had on paper. But he went off camera. But Cornelius, what'd you think, bro? Like, just kind of where do you think the state of the national team is right now?
I think we have a lot going on just in the country in general. Um, when it's just surrounding the World Cup, and I think that this team, we don't have a lot of experience to like shoulder this right now. Like, to be honest, I mean, with Tim Ream being our oldest guy, like, he's a little too old. You know what I mean? You need. I feel like we don't have any like, because so this is what I'll say, because last World Cup, this was a lot of these cats' first World Cup, and a lot of these players were either in Europe or they had just started to go out to Europe, and they were getting a feel for what it really means to be a professional footballer. A lot of these guys were 21, 22, 23. They were just getting their footing in professional football for real. So, there was a little bit of, yes, this team is young and exciting, and let's go see what they can do. But now that it's on our home turf, now that there's, that weight of expectation, now that we kind of know who is fully in our group, now that, we've played 2 matches and they don't really look that great, now that we have to listen to, Christian Pulisic missed last summer because he wanted to take time off, and now he hasn't really looked, the guy there's just so many storylines surrounding our team, and it just don't look cohesive yet. And I don't know if that's a Pochettino thing. At the end of the day, it is a coach thing, because as a manager, you have to get everyone on one mind, one accord, one goal mindset. And so for me, it's, can Pochettino reel everything in? Because yeah, we're dealing with injuries here and there. Yeah, we're dealing with players in and out of the lineup. But at the end of the day, there is a little bit of expectation that we make it out the group. And I feel like they know that. But based on how we've looked against some real competition, it doesn't look great for this team. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look cohesive yet. And we can blame it on the lineup. We could blame it on who was in and out. But this is what I expect when I go see you play against European teams, because this is what you've shown me that you've done, leading up to the World Cup. So for me, I think there's a little bit of I think there should be some healthy worry in the camp. I think this should be like this should motivate them. But I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have that type of mindset. I feel like they should be able to take the noise and kind of use this as fuel. But I don't know who's going to be the one to lead us in there, because a lot of these guys don't have that type of, just like that dog mentality, and I feel like that's going to be tough leading into this World Cup, because we do have the expectation to make it out the group. But when you listen to some of these guys, some of these pundits, some of these American ex-US men's national team players, it's a lot of doubt. It's a lot of doubt. And I don't blame them, because we don't look great. If this is what you're showing me leading up to the World Cup in 2 months, it's not inspiring. I'll say
Listen, bro, I told you about these guys. I've been since we've started this podcast, I have told you about these men. I have told you about these guys. This is not surprising to me. Bro, I'm telling you guys right now, we may get grouped. Being so honest. Luckily be a third place team to get through, inshallah. But bro, we may get grouped. I'm not even trying to be funny. A healthy worry, Cornelius. I think this is everyone should be worried. This isn't a healthy worry. I haven't seen this mentality, that healthy worry mentality out of this team. I haven't, no, this isn't. I have a healthy worry with Arsenal. That's what I'd say. But like this team, no one on this team has shown the mentality of, let's go and win the next one and do. No, man,
And
absolutely not.
that's my issue.
And yeah,
that's
and
really,
that's why
and the
everyone
guys
has
that kind of
doubts.
have that
Though.
mentality, sorry, but not sorry, they're just not good enough. Like there are some of those MLS players that I saw that what I saw on the pitch was a lot of heart. It was a lot of, effort. It was a lot of the good, coachable things. But at the end of the day, the quality wasn't where you want it to be for this guy to necessarily go get 60, 70, 80 minutes and play. Maybe somebody to come on in the last 10, 15 minutes because you need that burst of energy. You need just that tenacity. Sure, there's a lot of guys that have that. But the quality is what I'm looking at when we're playing these games, because these are the best of the best in our country, quote unquote. So can you go play? You've been playing in Europe for the last 6-7 months. Now that we are all together, can you go play with the guys that you see in competition? Can you go play with the Netherlands? Can you go play with the Belgiums? Can you go play with, these teams that are there? And if we're not playing with them, then we kind of have to be realistic about where we are as a country right now, because that's what we're gonna have to see if we get out this group. Yeah, this is the biggest World Cup ever, but a lot of these teams are good. A lot of these teams fought tooth and nail to get there, and we got an automatic bid, and teams are looking at us as lunch right now. So it is what it is, but the quality wasn't there for me over these 2 matches.
Listen,
I think that
bro,
was the most glaring
we
thing
can
for me.
get grouped. We may get grouped, bro. We may get grouped.
I only ask, and those are all valid points. I only ask because, like I said, I mean, the schedule was what the schedule was. Like, I think we all anticipated like these are going to be tough games, and I thought like it was good that we played teams like Portugal, played teams like Belgium, because ultimately, we're gonna
That's the
have to see
standard.
we're gonna have to see those guys at some point. But I don't even think that we're necessarily like there. Like, I think success for us would be getting out of the group and winning one round of the knockout phase. I think that would be realistically like what success would look like. And it's not even so much of like because I think that the players are bad. I just think when you look around, I mean, we just talked about France before we started recording. We talked about like Portugal, and I just wanted to say like the 2 games for me, I think it gave me more answers than questions. I feel like at this point, I think we as a country, we know who our best players are. I'm hoping that Pochettino knows who our best players are. There's some guys that I'm like, I don't see how you're going to make this team. Like, to be honest with you, the Belgium game, I feel like really didn't even do the game justice. Really, like Tim Ream is just not at the level to play against. You know what I'm saying? Not, I wouldn't say at the level. Physically, he's just not where he needs to be. I mean, he's just an older
But
guy.
that's my thing, Salam. Like,
but what I will say though is
he's going though.
yes,
He's going to go.
No,
and
I don't think
honestly, he's probably our starter.
No, I don't think that he's going to start. I think Chris Richards has showed that like he's, you know what I'm saying, without Chris Richards, and he showed his value by not playing in that Belgium game. I don't think that like we concede 5 if it was him and Mark McKenzie. I'm not saying we win the game, but a lot of the issues that I felt like we were in because of the pairing, I don't think that we would get those same issues had Chris Richards there. But I mean, even look at a guy like Freeman, the guy who went to Villarreal. Like against Portugal, I felt like, okay, like this is you versus Pedro Neto. This is a Premier League player. Regardless of whatever you may think of Pedro Neto, this is a guy who starts on Chelsea, a top team in, you know what I'm saying, in England. I felt like he did fine. There's some guys where I'm like, this camp did you well. Now, obviously, I mean, Pulisic, like, we're gonna need you to kind of be, where we expect
in
you to be.
America.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, did you guys think the last World Cup? Do you guys think that he met his expectation last World Cup? I didn't feel
No,
like he. I didn't feel like he had a bad World Cup. I didn't think he had a good World Cup. But like, I
no,
think
man. Like, mm,
But the
mm.
thing is, who's gonna rise to the occasion, bro? Who's gonna step up? Because and this is where I be feeling some of these older players sometimes because they look at these rosters and they're like, yo, y'all got all this quote unquote talent, but at the end of the day, like who's gonna step up and have a big moment for the US? And I feel like that's what this tournament's asking for. Bro, we're at home. Like, who gonna step up and be like, this is the tournament for us to actually go doubt the haters or shut up all the haters that doubt us? And they have the potential to do that. I mean, the group is like this is a winnable group for us. We can, yeah, there's some tough
yeah,
matches, some tricky matches, but we could easily go win this group. We could be second in this group, or like Gabriel said, we could sneak out a third. It could go either way. But for me, it's who's gonna go step up in a big moment. And I hope that, a Weston McKennie does or a Christian Pulisic does, but it might be one of the younger guys. It might be Ajamang or whoever our striker is, Pepe,
Haji.
so it really might be one of these younger guys. I'm just not confident yet, just based on these two matches.
I feel you. And I think I think Weston will be one of those guys for us. I think Chris Richards will be one of those guys for us. I think it's more so like offensively, who's really going to kind of, you know, Tim Weah. I thought Tim Weah every time he plays for us, he plays well. He had big moments in the last World Cup.
He had big moments. It's like now you're playing at Marseille, Balogun. You're playing at Monaco. Your bagging goes there. I need both. Like,
Oh
like
yeah,
I
for
need,
sure.
I need y'all to be at
But that's
you
the
know what I'm
thing.
saying? And
That's
that's
the
the
thing.
expectation I have because I'm like, look, I'm looking at y'all play all over Europe, but I ain't really seen it yet under the stars and
Yeah,
stripes. And like I've seen flashes here and there, but for me, it's who's going to step up because now these guys have kind of established themselves in the world of football. You know what I mean? So I have a little bit more expectations than I did last year, even though leading up to it, we don't look as good as I thought we would.
no, yeah. I mean, you're right. I just think some of the guys are in good parts of their, and I feel like that's a lot of success. Like when you see a lot of success in tournaments, I think it's timing. And as I've talked about before, like Ajuman is playing well where he's at. So is Balogun. So is Haji Wright. So is McKinney. I think Pulisic on. I mean, for AC Milan, I think this season they were talking MVP at one point. So like now, how does that translate to
Yeah.
the World Cup? That's another question. But you know, and some of these MLS guys, man, like we need y'all to Seb Burhalter, Matt Freeze. Hey, we need you guys.
Mhm.
Diego
Even
Luna.
Max, even Max Arfston, I like his energy too.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We got talented players, but like you guys say, like, how is it going to translate? When you're playing one of these top teams. But
Yeah, man. But the US, just do us proud.
Here we
Don't go
go.
embarrass us on world stage, man.
yeah, shout
But
outs.
yeah, let's get into it. Shout outs, shout outs, shout outs, and then predictions.
So yeah, y'all can go first.
Mm.
I actually had one. Hold on. Dang. Sorry.
I'll go first. I want to go actually NWSL route for a second. I just want to give a shout out to the Portland Thorns. I just feel like they're kind of just rolling this season, and I didn't really. This is a team that I didn't really expect to like look this good this early, if that makes sense. But they look great. They look fantastic as a squad. So I just want to give a shout out to them, even though they drew their last match, but I think they're definitely one of the teams to be looking at to win the NWSL. So just want to give a shout out to them. And then my second shout out, man. Just want to give my second shout out to Spike Lee. Honestly, the Arsenal bar was great. It was really dope. enjoyed, meeting you, tapping you up. Thierry Henry jersey was nice, by the way. Blue kit, great jersey. But yeah, just want to take a shout out.
Spike Lee, man, that's crazy. Did he say that that you guys are winning the league?
Bro, it wasn't one of them where like you sitting down and I'm chatting with you. Like, it was crazy because I was like standing at the back of the bar and there's like a back entrance and literally, it's like 5-6 minutes into the match. I just feel it's like the bar is packed, like it's touch tight in there. And I just feel like a tap on my shoulder, like my elbow, and I'm like, I look down and I'm like, oh, Spike Lee. He's like really like 5'4", bro. He's like 5'4", 5'5".
I look down.
Yeah, I swear I just look down and I was like, who's tapping me? And I was like, oh, it's Spike Lee. And he was just trying to maneuver, get to a spot. So I was like, obviously, bro, go. Like, and then like he walked out. He like walked out for a second and then he walked back in. He looked at me. He's like, what's up, bro? I was like, what's up? Tapped him up and then he went back to his spot. And I was like, all right. And then we watched this loose. So, but yeah, it was actually pretty cool. Got to meet a living legend, man.
That's live that he just pulls up to, the bar kind of just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like his like son runs it. So his son was in there too. Like his son looks, they look very, very identical, very similar. But yeah, his son was in there, and then they have like like I said, bro, this show you guys videos, but this bar was completely packed out, touch tight. Like there's nowhere to sit. Everyone else is standing up. Like, nah, it was live. It was popping. People outside also sitting outside watching the game. It's a whole thing. Professional photographers in there. It was dope. It was really, really dope. So, yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad y'all had a good time. I have two as well this week. I have Sonia Bumpastor. She is the manager for the Chelsea women's team. I want to give her a shout out just because kind of her statement going into, the Champions League loss against Arsenal, over 2 legs. But, she was pretty vocal about VAR and the uses of VAR. And, we've been on here talking about VAR and when it can and cannot intervene and what it really should be used for. And I think, how vocal she was about it, but also kind of how she was very good in choosing her words and in saying what she had to say and going against the VAR, because I don't know if y'all saw it, but in the match there was a hair pull against Alyssa Thompson.
Too fast.
And VAR was, VAR looked at it and they didn't give, the recommendation for a red card, where in any other instance a hair pull is automatic red card, and this same player who pulled Alyssa Thompson's hair had been cautioned earlier in the match for pulling another player's shirt, and so she already was on a yellow card. This was a player that had clearly been tugging at shirts, tugging at hair all match. And, at the end of the day, sure, we took the loss. That's not really what it's about. It's more so about the fairness in the game and the way it's been officiated. And I'm just glad that she went out there and said what she had to say, because I feel like if this is one of those instances where if she didn't say anything, it kind of would have just been swept under the rug. But, hopefully that we can get a little bit more just standardization on when VAR can be used and how it's used over these matches, and whether it's Champions League or UEFA or FIFA or, the individual leagues. We kind of just need a little bit more understanding on when and why they make certain calls. But I'm just glad she said what she had to say. And my other one actually is Victor Gyökeres. I wanted to give him a big shout out just based on what he did for his team, Sweden, man. Sweden, I guess, is the first team to make it strictly based off of wins in the playoff. I guess in their original qualification matches, they were all draws, no wins. And so they get to the playoffs. Victor Gyökeres also had not scored leading up until these knockout rounds for Europe. So big shout out to him, just putting his team on his back. Alanga also played well in those knockout matches, but being able to get to the World Cup is a big deal for your country. So just want to give him a shout out.
Yeah, keeping it on the international stage. My first shout is going to go to the Eritrean national team. They just qualified for their first AFCON. ever. So it's a big one, man. It's great to see. Yeah, man, it's great to see more African football, on the continent. Obviously shows a lot of the investment and a lot of the work that they've been putting in. So shout out to them, man. I'm looking forward to watching them next AFCON. And then my second shout out is going to go to Wilfred Zaha, Charlotte FC forward. Had the winner this past weekend. I don't know, man. I just felt like this is a guy who's had a lot of criticism ever since he's been in the league. I mean, he's had a lot of criticism
Evans' whole career.
His whole career, like people just have had stuff to say about him for whatever reason. But I know there was a lot of questions and talk about why is he going to Charlotte? Why is he not going to a bigger market in the MLS? And he's kind of doing his thing there, man. And what we thought was going to be. Not what we thought, what is a pretty competitive Eastern Conference. And he had the winner this weekend. It was a really nice finish, and he has his team sitting in third place. So shout out to you, man. One of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
And I mean, and shout out to
predictions.
Boarding on Tuesday, VRG. Get a dub, and then Bournemouth this Sunday. Sorry, we play in the Prem. And then Bournemouth this Saturday. First match of the weekend, I believe, 7:30, or first match of the day at least. Man, need 3 points. I expect 6 points this week, nothing less. We're in a race, man. We're in the two biggest competitions, so. No excuses at this point anymore. Get it done.
Yeah,
we see City on Sunday.
You need to do something for me.
I think we'll be at home. We haven't had the best record at home, but we usually play well against City. I know Gabriel said he thinks they're back, but I think we can get a result.
Please go get a draw. It's cool. Just need to pull some points.
It'll be like 2-2. It's usually like 2-2 without the City.
Yeah, we don't play again until next Monday, so we'll record next time before we put the episode out. But I did want to touch on these Nagelsmann rumors. So the international break is over, and I guess now is clubs' opportunities to reach out to some of these international managers. And to be honest with you, man, if it's between Nagelsmann and Carrick, give me Nagelsmann.
I was about to say.
Nah, man. Nah, this is one of the he was amongst that crop of managers that was up and coming, had a lot of good ideas, and I don't think that what he wants to do is too far from the foundation that we've already kind of put in place. I think Ineos has already shown, just kind of like with the Chelsea situation, we have the way that we're going to play, and we really just need that coach to come in and kind of do as we say, more or less, just kind of focus on everything on the field. So if that's what it is with this guy, I think that it's a good fit for us. But to be very honest with you, I mean, there's really not that many managers that I would take over Carrick. The only ones that I would take would be him, Enrique, and Tuchel. Everybody else, man. So happy Zerbi went to Spurs. I hope you sync with them. That's the only takeaway that I took.
Actually, your thoughts on that, Zerbi to Spurs. Do you think he does enough to keep them afloat?
No.
Nah, bro. I think that's the worst match that you could have made. I mean, Zerbi is a loose cannon, bro. And how is he gonna have the patience to deal with Vendor Ven telling him to
he's got 7 games
on the sideline?
You only got 7 games. You don't think he could just do? You don't think he can do enough in 7?
Bro, Spurs this is the thing though. Spurs are in crisis mode. I feel like they should have went and got a crisis mode manager and then figured it out in the summer. I don't think this was a good move on their end. I don't think Zerbi's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad manager, but he doesn't have he hasn't. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't shown like I don't think he's never been in this position before, and it's hard to know what to do when you've never been in a certain position. Like I feel like, bro, they're probably better off like truly getting Roy Hodgson or like what's the name, Sean Dyche. Like literally Sean Dyche, bro. Call him 7 games, bro. I need you. Get us over the hump. Like get us over the line. Seriously, I don't think now you have Zerbi coming in like to try to imprint now his style of football on the team, and it's little too late, bro. You're in crisis mode. If you get relegated, bro, it's looking long. Like, bro, you have to just fight and get your way through 7 games. So, yeah, man. I don't know if this is the right appointment. It's not a bad appointment, but I just don't know if this is the right time for that appointment. But we'll see. Like I said, man, I hope Spurs get relegated. I think how they go down.
I hope
They see Sunderland this weekend at Stadium of Light.
Yeah, I hope it starts here.
I hope it's Salam same, bro. I hope they get smacked up 2-0. Daka's back too. He doesn't like Spurs. Man, I hope they get smacked up 2-3-0. And from there, I think it'll look dim.
He's gonna go in on one of his players
at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
West Ham win. They will be.
That's why I was happy about them losing an FA Cup. I'm like, I need you guys to fully focus on staying up. And like, no, bro, I can't even. Like the Zerbi thing, I feel like that was a move of like, like this was the final like nail in the coffin. Like you guys are going down. He is going to flip out once. Bro, y'all saw what he was doing at the Marseille trainings when he was going in on those guys and telling him. He said, "Go back to the locker room." What? Mickey Van de Ven was waving off the manager. Remember, Igor was like, step up, press. Mickey Van de Ven looked at him like, bro, none of us are going to be here. Yeah, none of us are going to be here in 60 days. So, like, what are we doing?
Facts.
Yeah, man.
You got a 60-day leash. That's it.
Bro. None of us are going to be here. We're all going to be gone. Like, chill
60-day lease.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to be fit for the World Cup, but yeah, man. No, good episode, guys. Yeah, shout out to Mike. Obviously, whenever there's a lot going on with Chelsea, Mike takes it very, very hard. So it's yeah. I would have loved to hear what he had to say about Enzo Fernández, but he's gone. By the way, Cornelius, he's gone.
Yeah, he's been gone.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's good. Thank you for what you've done, soldier.
Yep. What was it? What 60, 50, right? 160. What was his price tag?
160 is nuts.
Well, what was it? 120?
It was like 110 or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your continued support. Until next time, peace.